Goodbye, cruel bumper. Jesus, I shot myself! Ugh, I shot myself! Back up! Stupid gun!
That, kids, is why we don't play with guns.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It is time to rant on about the problems of Life is Strange 1. So I was a huge fan of Life is Strange 2, cannot stress that enough. I was fortunate enough to play that one first, and then I went back to the first game and was mortally disappointed by what I experienced. I know there's a huge mixed bag of feelings when you walk into the first game. So many people love this game, and so many people don't. So I'm just here to give my piece and rant on about my feelings towards it. Love it or hate it. I feel like it's a good thing to be able to kind of speak your mind about things.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass, would
My
they?
issue with Life is Strange 1 is kind of a twofold issue, and that comes mainly from the characters and the story perspective. So I usually say that the Life is Strange franchise is composed of three major pillars, and that's going to be the music, the characters, and the story. So when two of those three pillars is really quite crumbly, that's going to be a problem. The music on Life is Strange 1 is what set the standard. It was phenomenal. I have no complaints about Life is Strange 1's soundtrack or any of the original soundtrack or licensed tracks that they use. That fits the mood wonderfully. My issue comes with the writing and the characterization. Going right off the bat with writing, I feel like there is way too much fluff going on here in Life is Strange 1. Honestly, the first 3.5 episodes, it's been a while since I played it. So either the first 3.5 or first 4.5 episodes is kind of a waste of time. Until you dig up Rachel Amber's body in the junkyard, the story really doesn't start picking up.
I have a little time before Mr. Jefferson's class, so I can do some wandering.
And the nature of this story is it's a building to a climax. So it's like you're doing the roller coaster ride and you're clicking up and you're clicking up and you're clicking up and you're waiting to fall. Well, the issue is you don't fall in Life is Strange 1 until you get to the finale, which is episode 5. And by the time episode 5 gets here and you're falling, they don't have enough time to wrap up everything in a satisfying way.
I did it. I fixed everything. Wowzer, 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 wowzer.
And I think that is the most critical problem that they had when writing Life is Strange 1. So in my opinion, I feel like a majority of episodes 3.5, 4.5, whatever, can be wrapped up in 2 episodes. 2 episodes gets all that content covered, and then we're going to jump into episode 3. We're going to dig up Rachel Amber's body, and we're going to discover the Mr. Jefferson plot twist. Which, by the way, I absolutely adored. They got me way out of left field with Mr. Jefferson. And I think the way that it was written so brilliantly was because he was more or less a tertiary character. Like, he was there, he was nameable, you knew who he was, but you really didn't feel like he was all that important. So for him to turn out to be the big bad at the end of the day was a wonderful twist. I could not say that enough. Excellently done. But the problem is it happened at the end of episode 4. So now you only have one episode, theoretically 4 hours, to go over this wonderful twist, have the storm hit, and wrap everything up. And that's just honestly not enough time. If I were writing it, I would have you uncover Rachel's body and have the Jefferson turn all happen in episode 3. Episode 4 would focus on getting out of Jefferson's clutches and dealing with the storm and its after effects. And then episode 5 would be wrapping up the storm, have your climactic decision, which, by the way, I would drastically change what that decision is. And then from there, end the story on a better note. The problem with how they did it now is everything hits in episode 5. So you're captured, you've got to come free, the storm hits, you deal with that for a little bit, and then you make your decision. And you really don't have enough time to absorb and enjoy the best part of the game. And I think that's where their writing really dropped the ball. Because, as I've said multiple times in this review, in this rant, whatever you want to call it, they spent way too much time on fluff. The first 4.5 episodes, whatever, wasting my time. The story starts once they dig up Rachel Amber's body. And I get it, you gotta have that pre-stuff, you gotta understand what's going on, but you could have wrapped that up in 2 episodes easy. And then from there, Rachel's body, Jefferson's twist, we're breaking free from Jefferson, dealing with the storm, wrapping everything up, put a little nice bow on it, and then boom, the story is
Did it. I fixed everything.
But
Wowzer.
instead, we get a story that drags along for 4.5 episodes, and then you finally get some good stuff, and then it's over. And it all happens way too quickly, and the stuff that happens before the crazy stuff isn't exciting enough for me to really care. So that's my biggest problem with the story. My stands with the Life is Strange story. From a story perspective, as a writer myself, that's just how I felt playing the game. And I'm not playing this game to try and find its faults. I'm playing the game to enjoy it. I wanted to have fun, but it just wasn't there. And so the second issue with this game, what I find to be the most crucial issue with this game, is Chloe Price.
Don't even answer. We have places to go and people to do. Come on, before Mom starts some more shit. Let's bail.
It's Kate Marsh from Blackwell.
Big whoop. You don't call me once in 5 years and now you're all over some biatch you see every day at school? I see how you roll. So go ahead, chat up Kate Marsh from Blackwell. I've got other people to
The
hang out
characters in this game is integral to its success and integral to it being interesting. And so when the game focuses on 2 friends, Max Caulfield and Chloe Price, and Chloe Price could not be any more of a terrible person, it makes it impossible for me to even care about her. So you have Max Caulfield, who is kind of a lovable nerd. She's pretty well spineless, and she's got superpowers. And then you have Chloe, who's supposed to be her best friend, but mind you, in the very first episode, they don't even recognize each other.
Wowzer, you are blowing it. Save that girl.
People are going to say, yeah, it's been however many years. I'm sorry, but you can give me 10 years apart from my best friend, and he can dye his hair blue, and I'm still going to know who he is. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, crap, some random girl got shot in the bathroom. I have no idea who you are. No, that's not going to happen if you're actually friends. So then, after that, you start to meet Chloe, and you learn that she's kind of a spoiled bitch.
So you came back to Arcadia for a teacher, not your best friend.
Don't you think I'm happy to see you?
No. You were happy to wait 5 years without a call or even a text.
I'm sorry. I know things were tough on you when I left.
How do you know? You weren't even here.
I didn't order my parents to move specifically to fuck you over, Chloe.
You've been at Blackwell for almost a month without letting me know. Enough
Like,
said.
I mean, honestly, this woman does not stop complaining.
How do you know she disappeared? Maybe she wanted to start a totally new life.
Unlike you, she would have told me, okay?
She blames everyone but herself for her problems.
Chloe, you can't keep blaming me and everybody for everything wrong in your life. It's so not fair.
I gotta blame somebody, otherwise it's all my fault. Fuck that.
And I get it, she's got some stuff going on that's out of her control, but to the bottom line, you gotta stand up and you gotta own that shit. And she does not do that. My biggest problem with Chloe Price, there's so many problems with Chloe Price, but I really just cannot stand how she's always blaming someone else. There's a scene where the 2 girls are in a car, and she tries to blame her dead father for the problems that she has in her life. And thank God they give me an option to finally give Max a backbone and put her in her place and be like, you know what, you need to start owning up to shit.
Grow up! God, you're not the only one in Arcadia Bay with problems. Kate Marsh almost...
Yes, Kate Marsh almost killed herself. Such sad, okay? That doesn't make me feel any better about my fucked up life. Get it?
So who do you most want to blame?
My fucking dad, of course. Hello?
You blame William? Really?
Yes, I do. Damn right. He chose to go out that door and leave me forever.
Chloe, your dad didn't choose to leave you. I was with you that day. It was just a terrible accident.
And what does Chloe Price say in response? Oh, if I own up to stuff, then it's my problem. Stupid. That's stupid. And I cannot stand this character, and it drives me insane how much people just absolutely adore her, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Not only is she selfish, like we've seen on multiple occasions, there's a scene where you're in the diner and you get a call from Kate Marsh, who's like your depressed friend, who, by the way, tries to jump off a building and kill herself. And you take this call while you're in the presence of Chloe and she loses her shit. Like, are you serious right now? It is beyond me. I cannot even explain how frustrating dealing with Chloe Price as a fictional character is. Dealing with her in real life, I would shut that down. So yeah, she uses Max Caulfield's powers to find Rachel Amber. Let's be honest here, the only person Chloe Price really cares about other than herself is maybe Rachel Amber.
I wish Rachel was here.
And so she's using Max Caulfield as a way to get to Rachel Amber. That is, period, end of story, what her goals are. So she uses your powers to get to someone else entirely. She's selfish and reckless. And then the whole premise of the game is Max Caulfield trying to cling on to this friendship and keep her alive. They made that twist ending incredibly obvious when in literally every episode Chloe Price dies. Sometimes multiple times in one episode. So it's like, okay, I get what they're trying to say here. Max Caulfield should not have messed with time, shouldn't have saved her life. But guess what? If I had a choice, I wouldn't have saved her. Like, seriously? Come on now. And then, so you get to episode 2, she shoots herself like a complete dumbass. She sits in the train tracks like an idiot. And then I don't even know where else she gets shot. But literally every episode, Chloe Price dies, and you keep using her powers to bring her back to life, and the storm keeps getting worse. The writing's on the wall. It's pretty plain what's going on here. She needs to die. Like, fate decided a long time ago she was done, and we just need to accept that. So it all comes to a head, comes to the culmination in the storm scene. You got Chloe Price, you got Max Caulfield, giant hurricane, looking to wipe out Arcadia Bay, and what does the game say? The game says, okay, are you gonna save Chloe Price again and destroy this entire town, or are you gonna let her die? And I'm just sitting here scratching my head like, this is what it comes down to? This no-brainer of a choice is what this game comes down to, and I just cannot believe that they thought that that would be satisfying. Like, of course I'm gonna sacrifice Chloe. She's a bitch. So, okay, sacrifice Chloe, and then what happens? The game reverts to the very, very, very first scene where you discover you have powers, essentially, and she gets shot and she dies. So what does that tell me? It tells me as the audience, wow, I just played this entire 20-hour game for absolutely nothing, because when I choose the ending that makes sense, the entire game gets reverted into a non-existent state, and you're like, wow, why did I just subjugate myself to this? Like, seriously? Absolute waste of time. And man, is this a passionate rant right now. But seriously, I love Life is Strange 2 so much. For this game to be so much of a disappointment, and then to see the amount of people who razz on Life is Strange 2 and compare it to 1 as though there is a comparison even to be made is maddening. It's almost like at the end of the day, Max Caulfield never even had powers. It's like this was some sort of crazy, weird coma dream. Like, what would happen if I did have powers and could have saved Chloe Price when I had the chance to do so? But then, when you go back and you undo it all, you're like, oh crap, that's right, time powers don't really exist, dumbass.